made this big mess? Oona, was this you? Come here. Did you do this? Is Cyril the squirrel teasing you again? You know what I think we need to do? We need to learn how to speak squirrel. And then you won't jump on the table and knock all my stuff over. Do you think the Bible has any ideas about how to maybe talk to squirrels? And I'm sorry, this is really distracting. What's on your head? It's a flame. Why do you have a flame on your head? Well, for Pentecost. You're right, it is Pentecost this week. Maybe that should be our Bible story. I think that's a good idea, right? Yeah, we'll clean all of this up and then we'll read our Pentecost Bible story. And hopefully the Pentecost Bible story can tell us a little bit about bullying squirrels and being able to talk to them. What do you think? Good plan? Good plan. Look, the Bible story! It's even open to the right page. How did that happen? Interesting. This Bible story is called A Gust of Wind from Acts chapter 2. A gust of wind blasted through the house in Jerusalem. The disciples jumped up from the table. Andrew grabbed the bread. John and James grabbed the cups. The tablecloth flew into the air. Plates crashed to the floor. The disciples were celebrating the festival of Pentecost. But now their meal was a mess. Andrew dropped the bread in surprise. A flame of fire floated over each disciple's head. The flames were bright red, orange, and yellow, but they weren't hot. Is yours hot? Oh, that's a good thing. Andrew pointed to the flames. Look! The disciples looked. John and James dropped the cups. Peter's and Simon's eyes grew wide. Bartholomew's and Philip's mouths dropped open. Matthew, Thomas, and Matthias gasped. Thaddeus and the other James pointed to Andrew's head. You have a flame too! I don't think I have a flame. Suddenly, the disciples began to speak in different languages. Latin, Greek, Arabic, all the languages of the world. They rushed outside. We are filled with God's Spirit, shouted Matthew. God is the ruler of all, Philip exclaimed. The street filled with Jewish people from many countries who were celebrating Pentecost in Jerusalem. Every person, no matter where they had come from, heard the disciples speaking about God's power in their own language. Do you think they spoke puppy too? The people couldn't believe their ears. Some of the crowd sneered. They could not believe that the disciples could actually speak all the languages. But many people were amazed. Peter yelled, "Each of you hears our words in your own language. God's Spirit made this possible." Well, Oona, do you feel like you're filled by the Holy Spirit? Do you think maybe you can talk to Cyril the squirrel and tell him to stop teasing you? Probably not, because this was a really special time in biblical history. It's not every day that God does a miracle or a miracle this big, but he wanted to make sure that everyone knew the good news of Jesus, and he didn't want language to get in the way of that. So he made sure the disciples could share the good news to anyone who wanted to hear it. That's something we celebrate every year when we celebrate Pentecost. Will you pray with me now, Oona? We're going to pray. Dear God, thank you for loving us, for filling us with your Holy Spirit. Please help us to share your good work to the whole world. Amen. Thank you for reminding me it was Pentecost, Oona. I almost forgot this year. Now then, about that squirrel. Maybe if we give him some nuts, he'll be nicer. Do you think that, I don't actually have one, but do you think that would help if we be nice to him? Or you could just keep scaring him away. Either one. Kind of 50-50, right? We'll talk about it later.